Meanwhile, Democrats have a message for President Joe Biden about 2024. Don't run.
We can't afford to risk the White House to a Republican who could defeat status quo Joe.
We can't afford to lose. Don't run, Joe.
Don't run, Joe.
Don't run, Joe.
Don't run, Joe.
Well, that's a little discouraging. Joining me now, Fox News contributor Katie Pavlich. Katie, are you surprised to hear that? Because Joe looks like he's going to run. He feels good about the midterms.
I'm not surprised to hear it. There are a number of groups on the left in the Democratic Party who've been trying to shift that party even further to the left. Joe Biden has helped them out by giving them a number of big ticket items, but they're not satisfied. I thought it was interesting that this group is running this ad in New Hampshire, which is usually the first in the nation primary state, but Joe Biden is trying to move the first primary to South Carolina. But in terms of how successful they're going to be, Joe Biden has indicated that he is planning on running. They haven't made it official. He will be 80 years old. And just in the last couple of weeks, we've seen First Lady Jill Biden actually change her tune a little bit as well and say that she's all in. Now, I think that if the election is in 2022, the midterms would have gone differently. You'd be seeing a lot more ads like this, including from maybe some potential opponents, like Gavin Newsom, for example, from California. But because the election went decently well for Democrats, Joe Biden himself feels like he still has a shot, despite his low approval rating of just 39%.
So in the CNBC poll, 57% of Democrats say he shouldn't run, 66% of independents, and 86% of Republicans. It looks like the party's going to get out of the way for him. I don't see anybody lining up. Whether it's Buttigieg, whether it's obviously Governor Newsom is not going to do anything. I don't see anybody running against him if he wants this.
Well, look, he's an incumbent president. Democrats also don't want to get themselves in a position where they are fighting out a bloody primary while Republicans are doing the same. They want to be able to hold all of their resources for the general election. And if they start inserting primary opponents for Joe Biden, that's going to deplete some of their resources and also highlight some of these discrepancies and disagreements that Democrats have within the party. The far left wing of the party trying to continue to push this Bernie Sanders-style socialism, whereas, Joe Biden would argue that he's more of a moderate, even though we've seen him govern in the exact opposite way. So the Democrats look like they're lining up behind him, but these groups do have a point when they say that he could lose to a Republican opponent. He also is not capable of going out on the campaign trail and campaigning for a number of Democrats who are running for office as a result of his low approval rating, which is what we saw in the 2022 midterms when they kept him off of the campaign trail on purpose so he wouldn't drag the Democratic Party down in the House and in the Senate.
Katie, it's fascinating. If he does run, he's actually going to have to run. He's actually going to have to show up at events. He's going to have to do some things.
Yeah.
He had the perfect storm last time. Yes. 61% don't think Donald Trump should run and seek the presidency either. So we'll see about that rematch. Katie, I'm looking forward to watching the 5 now. You're going to be on it.
Yes.
All right.
I'll be on it today, so I'll see you in New York.
Hop on that train. Joe Biden would be proud.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.